Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to hang out with you guys today, and I'm actually doing a requested video. Somebody left this idea in my comments and I've been meaning to get around to it and I just haven't done it yet. So today I am walking you through what's on my Amazon wish list and kind of explaining why some things are on there and how it would benefit our classroom this year. This is Finn. Say hello to the camera. Okay, so he just wants a hug right now, but this is Finn. He's my orange kitty and I love him so much. Okay, cat reveal. That was my cat, that was Finn. So I'm going to pull up my Amazon wish list now and we are gonna walk through it together, and I'm going to talk about why things are on my Amazon wish list. Okay, so normally my Amazon wish list link lives in the bottom of my description box, but today it's gonna move to the top, so it'll be easy to find if there's anything on here that you're like, man, I really want her to have that for her classroom this year, and you feel so inclined to donate. You do not have to. This is not a video asking for donations. It's somebody asked to see what they should put on their Amazon wish list, but I know that this is gonna get out in front of people and some people will be like, man, I really wanna get that. So if you do, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Please, please, please do not feel like you have to buy anything. You liking, subscribing, watching my videos is enough for me. Getting it out in front of other people's eyes is enough, I promise. Please do not feel like you have to donate anything. But for those who do, and for those who want ideas of what to put on their wish list, here are some ideas. All right, so I have my Amazon wish list up here on my laptop, and I tried to find the version that like you see when you're looking at it, but I can't find that, like, for the life of me. Every time I try and put in that link, it just brings it to like the editing side. So I tried really hard. So when you look at it, it'll look a little bit different. It will tell you kind of descriptions, and it'll have how many I want and how many I have. But for right now, you just get to look at the cool editing version because that's the only version I can bring up. So obviously I have it titled Miss Raymond's Classroom Wish List. Very simple, easy to find. And then I have a little description for parents, friends, family, you guys, just to know what you're supporting when you make a purchase. And it says, going into my second year of teaching, I'm committed to creating a safe, welcoming, and hands-on learning environment. This is not something I can fund myself and would love your support. And on here, on my wish list, I always refer back to those three things: safe, welcoming, and hands-on learning. And if it doesn't fall into one of those categories, I'm like, do I really need to put this on the wish list? So that's kind of how I hold myself accountable of putting things on my wish list. So here we go. We'll just jump right in. Well, I don't know if I should start at the bottom or the top, but whatever. I'll start right here. So the very first thing is this hand sanitizer. In my description, sick season is upon us. In our classroom, we use hand sanitizer in the morning, before and after snack, after recess, and at the end of the day. We go through a lot of hand sanitizer, and that is so true. As you can see, everything that I have has a little description. This one, it looks like somebody donated some stuff, or else it would have said like needs 3, has 1. But since it doesn't say that, it looks like there's only 1 left on my wish list. So that's pretty cool. Next is some lotion. So winter equals dry hands, or winter equals dry air, which equals dry hands, helping your students feel relief by having non-scented lotion for everyone to use. And that just goes right next to our hand sanitizer, so nobody has those cracked, burning hands in the winter. And then everybody knows the classroom essential is paper towel to clean up our many classroom spills quickly. And then I have these Yum Pops. They are allergy friendly. There are no artificial dyes. They're gluten-free. They're vegan. And I use candy like nobody's business. I love giving out candy, and I know that food allergies exist. As somebody with a food allergy, I like to have food allergy friendly candy so everybody can earn what they need to. This right here is more for teacher use rather than classroom use, but that's okay because it still benefits everybody. and they're little grade box checking stamps. So I check it on the paper, and then I can check, yes, they achieved it, they did it one-on-one, they did it with a partner. All right, moving on to the next item. And I realized, oh no, I can't. Moving on to the next item is some crayons. So these are crayons that'll go in our community bins. When I ask parents to buy school supplies, I make it very clear that what they buy is not going into community bins. Things that are donated go into community bins. And a lot of times I will get parents who buy an extra pack of colored pencils and say, give this to whoever doesn't have one or whatever. And that goes into our community bin. So kids who come to school without crayons or without pencils and all that stuff, they get to use the things in the community bin. And those who bought their students their own supplies get to use the supplies that were bought for them. And I've just found that this makes everybody a lot more happy. So crayons we use in our interactive notebooks as well as other projects. So I just like to have a bunch of crayons on demand. And then colored pencils is what I prefer, but they go very quickly in our classroom as it's the top choice for coloring. So crayons are hard when you have bigger hands. As a 5th grader, as a 4th grader, you have bigger hands. You don't have those tiny hands anymore. And I hate markers because they bleed through, then they get on the desk, and it's just really annoying. So I always prefer colored pencils. The next thing on my list is another community supply, and that is some folders. So thankfully I did already get folders donated for this school year. But if you know anything about these paper folders, is that kids ruin them pretty quickly. So I always like to have some backups just in case they're like, my folder ripped. So there is that. All right, and then the next thing is also a teacher use, and it's just some sheet protectors to put in my binders. That's so I can be better organized and hold on to copies for next year and kind of reuse those a little bit better. Kind of boring, but it's a necessity. So that is on my wish list. And then these are really fun. They are board books, and we do a big poetry book in the 5th grade. We really learn a lot about poetry. And at the end, the kids get to create their own books. And last year, they really enjoyed being to be their own illustrator. They got to put it in books, and then they got to go home with an actual book. And it was really cool. And I remember doing these board books in elementary school too. So I just really like having that for our poetry unit. And I would love a little bit of help. As you can see, they're a little expensive. And I have to get 2 packs because I have more than 12 students this year. So having help getting those donated is nice. They're nice. This is for teacher use. It's just a paper organizer. And my vision for this is to hold colored paper. Right now it's cardboard and it's falling apart. It got passed down to me from a retired teacher who had it for probably years and years and years, and it's falling apart and it's time for an upgrade. But it's also something that like we can survive with this cardboard one for a couple more months, you know? So I don't really want to buy it myself yet, but if somebody wanted to donate it, that would be great. And it'll be used for colored paper for the crafts that we do. So separating out each color in each little bin there. Some cardstock, some colored cardstock to help make posters, help craft, that kind of stuff. That's just basic. It's on every teacher's wish list. The next one is anchor charts. So anchor charts are pretty expensive. I don't think parents realize how expensive anchor charts are. I love anchor charts. I love writing on charts because it's easy for students to refer back to as a resource in the class. So anchor charts are very much needed, but they are pretty pricey. And I like the ones that are sticky so I can rip it off and then stick it on the whiteboard and do my thing with the students and then be able to hang it up somewhere. Our school does give us one anchor chart thing a year. I think it's got like 20 pages in it, and it's not sticky, and it's just really hard to like work with. So I do prefer these Post-it sticky note ones But if we don't get it, that's okay because our school does provide a resource. So the next thing is some chapstick for our student hygiene baskets. So this says cabinet. Last year I had a cabinet in my room that my students could use, and then I had a student hygiene basket in the high school girls' bathroom. This year I'm keeping the basket in the high school girls' bathroom, and I'm also creating baskets for the upper elementary girls' and boys' bathroom, and they will have their respective things in there. And thankfully last year I had a ton of donations of feminine hygiene products. And so like nail files and menstrual cycle things and hair ties and bobby pins. I got so many donations for that, and I'm so thankful for that. So we're set for the first like month or so of school for those baskets, but chapstick is like a crazy necessity right now. I have a jar of Vaseline in my class that like if students need chapstick, they like use hand sanitizer, they dip their finger in, and then like they use that. But I would love to just have everybody have their own chapstick. They keep it in their desk, and that's that. That's my hope. I might even put that on my school supply list next year because it's crazy like how many kids need chapstick and they just don't have it. This is also for the student hygiene baskets, and these are Stallmates, so they're wipes to help, you know, you get it. And I just like having those for girls to feel a little bit more clean. Especially in elementary school, like it's an awkward time if you're going through things and your friends are not, and you want to feel clean and you want to feel fresh. So I'd like to have those in those baskets just in case for them. Here is a poster that really explains food chains and food webs. That's something that we do in the 5th grade, and I just like to have educational posters on my walls, and I think that this would really help as a visual with our food chain unit. All right, the next thing on my wish list is this headphone pack. So students sometimes have their own headphones and sometimes they don't. When you rely on laptops and videos and audio and all that kind of stuff in your classroom, you kind of need headphones. And the ones that we have, again, have been passed down to me from retired teachers, and they are just falling apart. So I'd really like to kind of refresh our headphone bucket to help students with audio and all that fun stuff. All right, next is a book about a leopard gecko who is a class pet, and it kind of teaches them the responsibilities of having a leopard gecko and all the fun stuff that comes with leopard geckos. And we have a class pet that is a leopard gecko. His name is Moose, and I think that it'd be really fun to have a class read aloud about Lily the leopard gecko with our class pet leopard gecko. These are just some more books that I think that students will really enjoy. And be a good resource for our food chain unit, because we do have a research project about food chains, and I think that these reptiles and the bugs will really help create some background knowledge for food chains. And then dinosaurs, my students love dinosaurs, so I thought that this would be fun to give them as a fun little light reading in our library. This right here, you may be confused about, and a burner, a hot plate, and you can see right here in the comments, for teacher use only with 1,000,000 exclamation points. I'd love to do these things called Fun Food Friday, and it's where we make food. So like we make gummy bears or we make ice cream, and then we get to enjoy it on the Fun Food Friday as part of our science lesson and other science experiments. But I need something to be able to carry those out on. Last year we did a lot of stuff in my crock pot, which worked, but it really limited us to what we can make. So I'd love to have a burner for teacher use to be able to do science experiments in Fun Food Friday. So I had a ton of math games on my wish list, and this is the only one that is left. I am going to add the grade 5 methodological liar, just because I didn't know that I was doing 4th and 5th until a couple weeks ago, and I just haven't had the chance to add that on. But this is a game that will be added into our math center rotations, and my kids all the time last year asked, like, oh, do you have methodological liar? And I was like, I don't even know what that is. But apparently they played it a lot in 2nd and 3rd grade, and then didn't have it in 4th and 5th, and they missed it. So I put this on my wish list to hopefully add into our math center rotations and get kids excited to do some math again. And then of course I have snacks. Our school has a school-wide snack time. So every single day there is a built-in snack time, and students are welcome to bring their own snacks. Sometimes they forget and then they have to go buy it from the school store. But not all the time kids can afford to do that, or their parents can't afford to do that. So I do like to have just some snacks in my room, just in case somebody forgets a snack, or somebody's like really hangry and I'm like, yo, eat this, eat it, no complaints, eat it. And so I just have a couple of different snacks to have some variety in there with what their options could be. Next, I have some fun Band-Aids. So I did already have some fun designed Band-Aids donated off my wish list, but I'd love to have more. Band-Aids are free reign in my classroom. My biggest pet peeve is when somebody interrupts me for a Band-Aid and like they're not even bleeding. Like, come on. And you know kids, like if they like, ow, I need a Band-Aid. And it's like, no, you don't. Band-Aids are for bleeding or like open cuts or like, you know. So my Band-Aids are in a little section, and kids just know that they can go and get a Band-Aid whenever they need it. If they're like profusely bleeding, they do need to come see me and I'll send them to the office. But like if it's a little paper cut or a little open skin that's bothering them, they can go get their own Band-Aid and do their thing. So I do have like normal Band-Aids in the top drawer, and then the bottom drawer are fun Band-Aids. And I have realized that these students really like fun Band-Aids. I always run out of them a lot quicker than I do the normal Band-Aids. So I like to just keep those stocked in my room, but they can get a little pricey. So I always put them on my donation wish list. So I have Inside Out and I think Toy Story that were already donated to me, and then I have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Pokemon still on the wish list. So here is spray deodorant that will be added into the student hygiene baskets, and that's because 5th graders stink. They do. They are stinky people, and I just like to be like, why don't you go put deodorant on, especially after recess or PE. And we made it like fun last year, you know. Sometimes I'd be like, oh, PU, like I stink. I'd be like, everybody, I gave them all deodorant to put in their lockers because they were so stinky. I was like, let's all go grab our deodorants and we're all gonna put them on. And we learned how to put them on without like showing everything. And so we made it a lot of fun. But I would like to have just spray in the bathrooms just in case they're a little bit more self-aware and they don't want to make a big deal about it. The next thing is this candle warmer, and I put this candle warmer on there because, again, 5th graders stink. 4th and 5th graders are a little stinky, and I just don't like my classroom stinking. So this candle warmer is like fire safe because there's not an open flame, so it's approved by the fire marshal. And what it is, it's like a little hot plate that you set the candle on, and it warms the candle from the bottom like up, and it still like sends out the smell because the wax is being heated, but it's just not with the flame. So those are really cool, and it's fire safe, and it'll keep my classroom smelling nice. And that goes back to like the welcoming environment smelling nicely. Yes. Okay, the next thing on my wish list are these stackable drawers. These drawers will be used in like my section, like the storage closet, and it'll just help things be a little bit more organized. Right now, it's a crazy mess in there, and that's just because I have no organizational system. Like I do, but it doesn't look like I do. So just having like some drawers that I can easily pull out and I'll be like, oh, this is all the food chain unit stuff. This is all the exponent unit stuff. And just having those ready and in drawers to help things run a little bit more smoothly in the teacher storage. And that goes back to a welcoming environment. Some more construction paper. This is kind of a basic. We do lots of arts and crafts because I like to do hands-on learning. And we're kind of running out, so we need more construction paper. And then this next two are a little boring. So this is some flip chart markers. Like I said earlier, I create a lot of anchor charts because I like them as resources. And I really like these ones because they don't bleed through the paper as much as like a normal marker does. So I like to have these on hand, and I like the different colors to make things pop, and I just needed a refill, so there's that. And then glue, the big pack of glue. We do interactive notebooks for everything but science, which is kind of crazy to think about. So social studies, math, and reading, we have interactive notebooks for that I'm like actively creating. I bought my social studies one off of Teachers Pay Teachers, but I'm going to align like our math and our reading ones with our respective curriculum. So I'm making those as we go throughout the school year. But we do use interactive notebooks, which means we go through a lot of glue because we need to glue things into our notebooks. And glue dries up fast. So I like to have the big packs of glue on hand. So these are a recent ad, and these are timers. So I don't really mind the big overhead lights in my classroom, but last year my students really did because they kind of grew up with other teachers having soft lighting and not using the overhead lights. And so I'm the type of person that I don't really like being in the dark. Like I can't see. I don't know. It's just kind of crazy. But I recognize that my students kind of need that softer ambient lighting. So I got a lot of fairy lights. I got a lot of floor lamps and all that kind of stuff in my classroom this year. And I'd like to put them all on timers so I don't forget to turn something off and run up the electricity bill or cause anything. You know, I just don't want the lights to be on overnight, and I'm a very forgetful person, and the amount of lights and outlets that I'd have to go and unplug or turn off is just a little overwhelming to me. So I'd like to put them all on these timer switches. Our leopard gecko moves his cages on a timer for his lights, and that just makes my life so much easier throughout the school year because I don't have to remember to turn on, turn off, turn on, turn off at different times. So I'd like to have timers for all of my soft lighting as well. And then the very last thing that's on my wish list right now are these floor pillows. So if you watched my latest classroom setup video, you saw these kind of mismatched pillows that I picked up from the local Goodwill and got all washed and treated and all that stuff for our floor table. And I love them. I think that they're great, but I don't think that they're going to last forever. I don't think that these would last forever either, but I think that they're going to deteriorate really fast just because they're already used and all that kind of stuff. So I just kind of wanted to get some matching floor pillows that can go around our floor table that have a little bit of cushion. They feel good, they look good, and they'll last a little bit longer than the Goodwill pillows. And that's it. That's my Amazon wish list. And I hope that in watching this, you got a couple of ideas of what to put on your wish list, or maybe you saw something like, oh, I really want to get that for her. Or if you have any other ideas, like, girl, you need this on your wish list. Why is this not on your wish list? Please leave them in the comments down below and I will add them on my wish list. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that it was helpful for you if you're creating your Amazon classroom wish list with some ideas of what to put on there. If you have any suggestions for more videos in this upcoming school year, make sure to leave them in the comments section down below. If you would like more daily updates with what's happening in my classroom or what's happening with me, make sure to follow my Instagram. Now that school season is kind of really speeding up. It'll be closer to more daily posts. And then once the school year starts, definitely daily post happening on my Instagram. As always, my Amazon wish list is in the description box down below. The link is up top on this video, but all my other videos, it's in the bottom. Okay, well, that's it. Make sure you like this video if you enjoyed it and it was helpful. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and leave a comment of what you are looking forward to this upcoming school year. Bye, guys!